Hello, I'm Dr. Archer Crosley, and welcome to Real World Pediatrics. So today I wanted to talk about revenge. Now, I'm speaking to parents here because your children are going to learn off you. Now, revenge is one of the most natural emotions that man can experience. When someone does us wrong, it gets us so angry, so much so that people often don't have an easy time seeing why we are so angry. And it's so easy for other people to talk about forgiveness. Unfortunately, those people have no idea what others have done to us. In spite of that, revenge is one of those emotions that we must put down if we want to succeed in life. Now, the Chinese have an old saying that is worth hearing and repeating. And if you can remember this saying, you will go far in life. When you seek revenge, dig 2 graves. Try to remember that when you desire to get some payback on someone who has screwed you over. You're going to dig your own grave when you seek revenge, or if you spend an exorbitant amount of time just thinking about it. Now, it doesn't look like you will. It looks like it's going to be a good thing. Hey, I'm going to get even with the guy. But that's just making you feel good. And you have to ask yourself whether you want to do good or just feel good. Now, I get it. If someone's bullying you, you have to stand up to them. That's not the same thing as revenge. It's a matter of degree. When you stand up for yourself, you are only rectifying an injustice. When you seek revenge, you are taking it beyond justice. You are taking it to the extreme where you are inflicting excessive, disproportionate pain. Now, I think you can see a few examples in the world today. People go to extremes, and so do countries. Now, in seeking revenge, we are attempting to get back what we feel was taken away from us. In most cases, this is our dignity, our honor. Now, this emotion is tough to battle because we are hurt and because so many people are looking at us and wanting to know what we are going to do. Many people want to know if we're going to stand up like a man and get some payback. Now, politicians are particularly sensitive to this. It's a big problem in politics. Actually, it's a huge problem. There's a lot of pressure to do something. There's a lot of pressure to not be a doormat. Well, where is it stated that we have to respond right away? And where does it say that we have to respond in kind? And aren't we big enough to take an insult every now and then? Perhaps a better approach is to leave that person in the dust. Now, that's a hard thing to do, especially when Hollywood glamorizes payback. And there is no question that Hollywood does glamorize payback. People love to watch Mel Gibson and Denzel Washington kick some butt. I like to watch them kick some butt. But I like to watch them do that because it's a fantasy that I know doesn't work in the real world. Only in Hollywood does payback work. It almost never works in the real world. And if we follow the dictate of Hollywood's favorite phrase, revenge is a dish best served cold, we increase the risk of getting our payback being returned to us. And that is because when we exact revenge, especially when we delay it and serve it up cold, the other person perceives that as a new disconnected insult that must be responded to. It's a self-replicating phenomenon. It keeps going and going until eventually we both find ourselves in the grave. Thus, when you seek revenge, dig 2 graves. Now, I'm no different than you when it comes to revenge. I'm not pure at all. Now, I used to think about revenge a lot, especially when it came to medical school professors. Now, I suspect that patients aren't aware of the hell that doctors go through in order to become a doctor. The medical school professors, they treat their students like garbage, and they continue to treat them like garbage well after they have left their residency program. Now, not everybody do they treat poorly, but they treat enough of them very poorly. So why did they do that? Well, as one French philosopher once noted, people will readily forgive you for the injustices that you do to them. Seldom will they forgive you for the injustices that they do to you. Now, for myself, I felt I was abused and unfairly evaluated. Now, I stood up to these professors when I was in my residency program. I sent them letters telling them that they had no business evaluating residents in the first place, that they were very unfair, that they weren't educated as teachers, that they were dilettantes, and that they were rarely around enough to make a sound evaluation. But ultimately, their abuse was too much for me. I spent 10 years trying to put my life back together after I finished my residency program. And I thought a lot about getting some sort of payback on them. I don't think about that so much anymore, but I used to. I can't say that's a good thing for the soul. Now, to a handful of these people, I sent them letters letting them know exactly what they did to me. I felt I needed to stand up for myself because I didn't always do that at the time. In retrospect, though, I wish I had pretended that these people never existed. And that is what I recommend that you do. Delete them from your mind. You know, these people who have wronged you probably don't even remember who you are. So why should you remember them? It's far better for you to focus on doing something good. Now, you may not like that approach, but that was what I concluded, and I would recommend for you to do that. Forget about those people who wronged you. Forget that they even existed at all. Don't sit back and let anguish ruin your life. And payback, forget about it. Those losers aren't worth it. Sure, write them a letter, let them know what they did, but leave it at that. Thank you.